and I looked up and I realized I didn't even have a roof over my head. I was really, really, really desperate. Things start changing in my life. For God is the Spirit, and He goes nationwide, anywhere, to get you money. And that's your bank, and you can bank on Jesus.
Cynthia felt life had caved in on her, especially after a fire had gutted her home.
And I was down in the basement, and I looked up and I realized I had one dress, a bucket, and a roll of toilet paper. I didn't even have a roof over my head.
Cynthia also didn't have a husband. He had run off with another woman, and she didn't have a job or a car. What Cynthia did have was a huge debt, courtesy of her ex-husband.
Altogether, I was probably in about $55,000 to $60,000 over my head.
Fortunately, Cynthia found the Lord and became a Christian and eventually a minister, and some things began to improve, but the bills continued to swamp her.
They were knocking on the door, they were calling my part-time job, they were leaving notes, they were threatening that they were going to come and just take stuff out my home.
Financial desperation took its toll on Cynthia's Christian convictions.
I was really, really, really desperate that one time someone had left $2,000. I picked it up, I put it in my purse, but then I went back and gave it to him. I really felt like a fool to find out how easy it was to get out of a situation. I had done everything the right way, but there was something I had never done. If you want God to change things in your life, you must make a vow to God. And then he said, there's a woman sitting out there, and she's in a lot of debt. She feels like she's alone. He said, her family's broke up. He said she needs a job. He said she needs a car. And he said she feels like she's nobody. And he said all she has to do is make a vow to God. And he said, it'll change her whole life. All of a sudden, I sent the vow, and about 2 weeks later, things start changing in my life.
Utilities were restored. Her credit rating was cleared up. She lost a phenomenal amount of weight. She received physical healings, and God totally restored her house.
God can do it. He can restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, but you have to remember God. It can't just tithe, you must vow to the Lord and keep it.
Cynthia has received a $10,000 raise and found just the car she desired at an amazingly low price. She claims again because of vowing.
God loves His children. And I can tell every man and every woman, it's not about your color, it's not about being a preacher. It's about knowing God and making a vow. For God is the Spirit, and He goes nationwide, anywhere, to get you money. And that's your bank, and you can bank on Jesus.
Offer unto God thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. Psalms 50, 14 and 15.